guess it was really only a matter of time before I threw my own 2 cents in on this.
The saga of Pirate Software's continued decline and fall from grace has now reached new lows. But to put it simply, Pirate Software has completely lost his mind at this point. I've seen content creators double or triple down on obviously bad takes before. But this thing that Pirate has going on here has reached levels I don't even think was possible at first.
After 20 years of watching people like this on this platform, this is like the only story ever told.
The guy just refuses to admit when he's wrong, and now his own audience is turning on him as he continues to lose control of the entire situation.
Boy, I wonder where we've heard that one before.
Shout out to Quinn Theo, by the way, for unearthing these Discord messages that I'm about to go over that someone took from Pirate Software's own Discord. So,
I love that to these kinds of commentary people, and I guess this is just because they're young, this is all like crazy, like why would somebody behave like this? But to some ancient fossil who was around since the beginning of this site and has seen it all, let me tell you something. It always ends up this way. It never doesn't.
Pirate is not only losing his audience, but he's rewarding bad behavior. Let's just get into all of it now. You all know the stop killing.
Wow, somebody with an enormous ego, insane amounts of arrogance, and an inability to accept personal criticism wants to create their own echo chamber. Wow. Shocking.
Game's lore by now, I assume Pirate is against it, and that's why he's having what's happening against him now. He's lost well over 100,000 subscribers already due to this and then some, and
Jesus.
Now he's starting to purge his own Discord of loyal users who have backed him for more than a decade for disagreeing or even attempting to have him see reason.
The only story ever told.
Let's start with this screen cap from his Discord where Pirate says, "Going to be real for the people in the back who don't get it. You know when this road of attacks and well poisoning ends? It ends with shutting down companies and firing everyone if they manage to poison enough people."
What the fuck? So you're going to punish your own employees because of the actions of a bunch of trolls? What a fucked appeal to emotion.
It ends with no longer being able to support the ferret rescue unless I can snag a job that supports it.
I'm going to have to get a job. So is that like a soft admittance that what he's doing right now isn't really a job? Get a job.
People think this is some ego trip. No.
Yes, it is, because it is. That's why they think it's an ego trip, because it's an ego trip.
I have people to take care of. I am not going to sit by and let that happen, and you're dumb for suggesting it.
You're dumb for putting people on the payroll of an insurance plan that you didn't have the ability to really take on. That's entirely your fault. That's your doing. You didn't have to do that. If you're going to operate a business, then you do have to accept that for the first couple of years, your business does operate out of a deficit. I mean, that's a given. But if it's going to be this big of a deficit and caused solely by your own hubris, that isn't anyone else's fault but your own. And this entire situation is literally only happening because you you refused to apologize for being a roach in World of Warcraft. It just spiraled and snowballed out of control from there, which to me is like the wildest part of this whole thing.
Like I said, he's now attacking his own viewer base from his own beliefs. You'll see as I show more that this poisoning of the well that Pirate brings up is actually of his own making. It's
accepting reality is poisoning the well. I love that.
Not the user's faults. And the company that he speaks about, Pirate employs quite a few people, including a whole moderation team that helps him with his streams.
God, imagine being such a fucking loser that you're actually a Janny for a career. Like, at that point, just jump in a wood chipper. Like, wow.
So credit where it's due, because Pirate does take care of his mods. He even offers them health care, if you can believe it.
I can believe it, because I can believe he would do something that irresponsibly stupid with his money. Like, you're giving health insurance on your dime for however you're generating an income on whatever your business is to Jannies so they can sit on their ass all day in Discord and ban people because they won't facilitate an echo chamber for you. This is fucking crazy.
Also, if you enjoy the content, consider liking the video or leaving a comment to help combat YouTube's
What game is this guy playing, by the way? Because this game looks fun as shit.
new annoying algorithm. It would help the channel out a lot.
It looks like a Ninja Gaiden game.
Thank you. So while he may take care of this group of people who work for him that understandably rely on Pirate doing well on YouTube and through his streams and such.
That's such a pathetic fucking... I rely on this. My fucking life depends on this guy doing well on YouTube, or I'm fucked. Get off your asses and get jobs. God damn, everywhere is hiring. Oh, it's so hard to get a job. Well, what are you looking for? Okay, grocery stores are hiring. Home Depots are hiring. That, you know, there's places all over that need people to... Like, how fucking lazy of a person are you that your prospect for a future is dependent on fucking pirate software? Like,
He is...
I almost want to say that these people are almost more pathetic than he is.
is quickly realizing that the damage that he's taken from this opinion on Stop Killing Games is starting to crumble the empire from within.
It's inability to accept criticism, and it's in his insane, egotistical, arrogant attitude that people have come to this conclusion that I arrived at very quickly, almost immediately upon seeing a lot of this guy's streams and seeing a lot of his shorts show up in my feed months and months ago. I mean, again, the only story ever told, nothing here is too surprising, but the dog piling of just the mountain of shit that this guy is now getting buried under, this is crazy.
But calling his supporters as being responsible for poisoning his community with negativity, that is rich coming from this guy. Another screen cap scene here shows Pirate confirming a new update for Heartbound. That's the game that he's been working on for years, in case you don't know. The update isn't the problem here, but actually the emoji reactions on the post, because as we can see in this next screen cap where Pirate says, also timed out and banned people for putting middle finger emojis on the announcement.
What a baby!
Idiot behavior. And as you can see, another user with their name blacked out said that Pirate shouldn't be giving these people the satisfaction by banning them.
But this guy grew up on 4chan, though. In his own words, he grew up on 4chan. Oh, he's such a hard ass to the internet. He can deal with this, right? What a baby.
And yeah, they're right.
What a fucking piss baby.
Like I said, Pirate is starting to lose his mind here. He's actually banning people for putting the
He's not losing his mind. He's acting like an incredulous little bitch.
wrong emoji reactions to his public posts on Discord now. So if you have a
Stop hurting my feelings. I grew up on 4chan.
negative reaction to him putting out an update, you're timed out or banned. All this will do is cause people to react the way that they are. Pirate is now, if he hasn't already,
Which, if he had actually grown up on 4chan, he would have known.
just turned his whole Discord into an echo chamber, where anyone who doesn't praise him is now being reprimanded or tossed out of the castle pretty much.
Well, that's what people like him want. And this is ultimately what I really want to hammer home here. The only thing people like this want is their own kingdom that they're king of and that everybody agrees with them in, because it is an ego trip, and they can say that it isn't, but at the end of the day, there's nothing other than that it is. I mean, he got called out by Dr. K for this and tried to shoot it down immediately, and that shit didn't work. But, you know, he made a valiant attempt and failed miserably. People like this can't handle being wrong. It's an enormous amount of insecurity backing it. It's an enormous amount of overcompensation backing it. I mean, look at some of the achievements this guy's foisting out into his audience, like, all the time. Like, I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. I did this and this and that and that and this. It's like, well, okay, but really what you're doing is living in your dad's shadow, because your dad has 23 years of achievements with that company, far in excess and above and beyond anything that you've ever amounted to. You know, you had to over exaggerate and lie about your achievements in securities. You had to over exaggerate and lie about your accomplishments and ability as a coder. Whereas all your dad had to do was live honestly, learn probably from a certain amount of critique and grow from it. And his achievements speak for themselves. I mean, imagine he who has no life being a more respectable dude than you, and you're his kid. Like, fucking A, man. But yeah, no, people like this, that's all they want at the end of the day. They want an echo chamber because they can't handle the reality of being mediocre. It's too much for them. Which is pretty lame for a guy who's almost 40.
That's not healthy behavior, and it's showing that this is the kind of man who is used to getting what he wants.
Boy.
And how he wants it to be said for a really long time. And now that his subjects are questioning the king, he's bringing out the guillotines, and it's going over about how you expected would. Pirate would then react to that user saying that he shouldn't give the satisfaction to those users putting the wrong emojis on his post. And how did Pirate respond to this? Was he nice about it? Of course not. He said in response, "When I have hundreds of thousands of people being misled and it's poisoning the well online about who I am, I'm obligated to counter." Okay.
And how are you countering by acting anything other than like a total bitch? You're countering this by giving the trolls, in this instance, absolutely everything they want, and in the same breath making yourself look like a fucking moron to your audience that still supports you.
Fair enough to a degree. However, what you're doing is not stopping the poisoning of the well by simply banning people.
These people are poisoning the well, says the guy dumping barrels of radioactive waste in it.
What you're actually doing is rewarding right think and getting rid of what you think is wrong think, which is textbook I'm the king and you're the peasants mentality. It benefits no one but your ego to remove people for simply disagreeing with you. This is not normal, nor is it okay.
And imagine working for a guy like that because he wants to start his own game studio or something like that. Like, imagine being employed by somebody who acts and thinks like that. I mean, really sit back and think about that. That's your boss. Somebody who's just going to dictate on you like that. I'm right. Everything you suggest is wrong because it has to be done my way. Like, fuck that shit. You know, I think it was funny. He made a statement in one of his responses to the Stop Killing Games thing. Oh, I want the government to regulate the gaming industry. They don't understand the nuance of our industry or some stupid shit like that. And I'm thinking, what does that really mean from a guy like this? Does that mean I don't want to be told that I can't mistreat my employees? Because you seem like the kind of boss that would force people to do 80-hour work weeks. You seem like the kind of fucking arrogant tool that would take the credit for all their goddamn work and take all the accolades for it. You seem like the Marty Stratton kind of game director. If you know anything about what that guy did to McGordon when Doom Eternal's soundtrack was being made, that kind of shit fuck-ass behavior, it gives me Pirate Software vibes. He gives me those kind of vibes. It just that kind of shit needs to go from the gaming industry. People that are bad actors like that, people that just want to be slave drivers like that, have no business in that business. And they have no business having people in their employ just because they want a stable of people they can abuse and make themselves feel better through abusing. Fucking pathetic. It's gross behavior.
You should never do this. Hell, my own Discord, I just let the mods run it. I'm pretty much just hands off. I'm okay with people saying whatever they want as long as it's not, racist or something for obvious reasons. But anyway, one user would respond to Pirate's
You don't want them to sound like they grew up on 4chan.
Claims about banning people who have the wrong think with this. Countering is timing out and banning. Talking about it is just going to rile up trolls more. And I agree, the best course of action would be to allow those people to just simply exist. Let them voice their disgust, but by banning them, you're bringing a lighthouse of attention to their fates that will only cause more people in the Discord to lose faith in you.
It's a censorship paradox, basically. Bringing a spotlight to it by censoring it just allows it to exist in a much bigger form elsewhere. Let them say their stupid shit if you think it's stupid shit, and eventually it will delegitimize itself. But, again, you'd know that because You grew up on 4chan.
They'll
You you grew up shit posting on B, right?
definitely be thinking, wow, I really am in an echo chamber, aren't I? Because if I don't agree with this guy 100% of the time on everything, I too could just be removed despite supporting this guy for years. See what I mean? This is the spiral, the end of the rope, where things begin to unravel, and Pirate is doing this to himself here by not listening but quadrupling down on his opinions instead. Of course, Pirate would
What if he's some kind of like humiliation fetishist? I mean, he's like already into all kinds of like weird furry stuff, you know, and I like normal furry stuff, but like weird furry stuff. I read through those chat log leaks, and ew, really. I'm just gonna be frank, ew. Um, you know, he could be just doing this because he likes being humiliated. He likes being exposed by people like this. That's his kink, possibly. Who knows? I mean, it's just as good an answer to any of this nonsense as anything else.
Respond, and he said, timing out and banning does not counter misinformation about my work. Evidence does provided now. What evidence is he speaking about, though, exactly? By banning people, all you're doing is both lessening your reach and proving that your opinions can't hold up to the questioning, which is textbook censorship in most circles. It's like when how Twitter,
I think he expects his audience to be so fucking stupid they won't put that together,
worked before
which is a great insult to their collective intelligence.
Elon bought it. If you said
I mean, and these people are only the people giving you money to pay your jannies.
anything that went against the right way of thinking, you would be banned or censored, especially during the pandemic. Pirate is doing the same thing here.
I wonder who else has done this. In the litany of people that I've covered over the years, I wonder who else that we know of has done this. Who's handled things this way? Whose censorious ass has also behaved this way?
But on a smaller scale, but it still tracks. This is not okay to do so. This feels like someone who is corrupted by power, if you ask me. Another user would...
It's somebody who sat on their ass all throughout their life with way too much uninterrupted access to their own echo chambers in their youth and think that they're still entitled to that as an adult, okay? You grew up on 4chan. You grew up in Second Life, okay? I mean, into your own admittance, okay? You probably posted in like hentai boards. You're probably into like weird Futanari stuff. Who knows what the fuck is on your hard drive? Probably it would get you like 5 to 10 for all we know, okay? But you're not somebody who grew up as so much as a elite hacker, you know, with the hoodie up and all dark room and all that shit. You're just a fucking loser neat with an enormous ego because nobody tried to keep it in check, and you refuse to touch grass for the majority of your life. This is definitely not somebody who has a lot of friends in their like interpersonal life. This is definitely not somebody who has any real connection with people due to their sheer divorcement from how people generally want to be treated and should be treated. Like, can you imagine this guy like acting this way in a real work environment? Not as a boss, but like as an employee, like a petulant little shit. Apparently, this is exactly what he did at Blizzard, and why they did what they could to try to let him go, but couldn't because of who his dad was at Blizzard. His dad was like the lead animation director for all their cinematics. So like, you know, try firing that guy's kid when that guy got his kid a job. And it's just like, well, you know, if I do that, then my reputation is online. Look, you know, what do you want? It's like he took the Ned Flanders child rearing approach. In The Simpsons, Ned Flanders is like the hey diddly weird Christian due to the fact that his parents were beatniks, actually, who didn't want to discipline him. So they gave him to like some child therapist who like attack therapied him into being this completely docile weirdo who's only the way he is just because he's suppressing his oppositional defiant disorder. Instead of actually having like treated it, they just suppressed it. So he uses Christianity as a cudgel, basically. Well, it's like Thor uses his hacker identity for like the same reason. Or something like that. It's crazy. This whole the whole thing has just been wild to watch.
Respond to Pirate about banning people over wrongthink, and they would say, I think you are at risk of throwing further gasoline on the fire. If it's too hard to ignore, maybe try laying low for a while. Uh-oh, this person tried to use logic when it came to Pirate's dilemma.
Uh-oh, this person is thinking. Can't have that now.
Laying low for pirate, admitting he's wrong?
Thinking alarm just goes off, you know?
It's like asking a fish to breathe oxygen without being in water first. It just can't happen. And you can bet that Pirate saw that comment and guess how he responded to it. Yup, here's what Pirate said to that user. Ah, yes, the streamer laying low, and he would respond to another user telling Pirate that how he's handling things must have a better alternative to him simply saying insane request. This is what I.
This is such a stupid way to respond as a fucking fully grown adult. Ah, yes, the electrical outlet that think it can outsmart me. No, I'm gonna outsmart it. I'm gonna stick the fork in it deeper. What a fucking moron.
This guy is incapable of admitting he's wrong no matter the situation. He needs to be right 100% of the time, and that's what's biting him back so badly here. You have to have the
God, what was it like to go to school with somebody like this?
hubris.
I mean, I dealt with people like this when I was in middle and high school, you know, but it was to be expected. Teenagers are retarded. As an adult, God.
And willingness to admit
Like, this is crazy. Like, I'd expect this behavior from somebody who's like 16 years old.
you can't be right all the time, and you have to be willing to understand that you will make mistakes, dude. I would.
His whole persona, too, was supposed to be like a wise sage who knew everything. And, you know, I have all this wisdom to impart on you with my stupid YouTube shorts. In reality, you're a fucking dumbass.
No, because I've made plenty of mistakes. Even in my videos, if I make mistakes and people call me out, I address it either in the comment section or in the next video that I heard you. For example, I covered Subnautica 2's news recently. I, by accident, said that Crafton, the company that owns them, was Chinese. They're actually South Korean. Whoops, I got called out in the comments, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big difference, really.
And the viewers were right. I screwed up. All I can blame is that I was really tired when I made the video, and yeah, I made a mistake, but imagine how badly it would have gone for me if I was instead like, actually, they are Chinese when they're not, obviously. Like, why even attempt a battle when your stance is clearly in the wrong, you know? No.
Look, when you're looking at the genetic code base and their phenotypes, they really are Chinese, okay? I'm Thor. I have to speak with a voice changer. There's no way, by the way, he's not using it. As an audio engineer, okay, he's using voice changer. He's using a voice changer to lower it probably like a couple of cents. He's enhancing the bass using an EQ into the mic. It's very easy to do. It's very simple. I mean, I can introduce all kinds of stuff into the... I can do that right now in OBS, actually. I can put on a 3-band equalizer. I can bass boost the shit out of my voice. And there we go. That probably sounds like absolute dog shit. But yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff in these softwares nowadays. I'm not going to use that. That sounds like shit. Okay. But yeah, he's totally doing that.
You're not going to be right all the time. I make content too, just like Pirate, okay? Just because we have these platforms doesn't mean that we're holier than...
This video game footage is actually not a video game. It's Pirate beating the shit out of his own Discord because he can't handle being wrong.
Now we're better than other people suddenly. We can just be as infallible and capable of mistakes as anyone that's watching the content that we make. I really hate it when content creators think that they're somehow better.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, dude, like when people have been allowed to sit on their ass the entirety of their life and they've never been allowed to foster any of their own humility or been, like, raised in such a way where they understand the utility of that humility, okay, or where they can try to like build a better character for themselves, it just doubles down and they become a bigger and bigger and bigger asshole. Yeah,
Better than everyone that's watching their video.
He doesn't want he what you're suggesting, yeah, that'd be great, but he doesn't want to do that, and you're not going to make him. Nobody is.
Like beef.
Why is he acting like this? Because he wants to. He thinks it's okay to be like that because maybe it served his purpose. Maybe Joey Ray was a giant fucking pussy raising him, just a giant ballless fucking bitch who didn't want to actually try to be a father worth a shit and discipline his kid at all. Maybe he was one of these bourgeois 90s assholes who just thought, oh, you're just gonna fuck him up or whatever. And now he's wound up with this narcissistic little shit because he was too busy making whatever the fuck in the last bunch of his career he ended up making for Blizzard. Who knows? He's too busy with his job. Because from what I understand, Thor's never really had a mother figure in his life, you know. So who knows? It does make me wonder what kind of weird hang-ups and issues with women he probably has as a result of that.
For real, man. You're not better than anyone, and you need to realize this pirate is clearly finding out right now that your opinions and beliefs can be challenged. And they can't take away the very opportunities that you believe that you are entitled to simply because you think you do.
No, they can't. Not me, the great pirate software. You dare challenge me?
Now he's losing money, and the people...
I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. I tried to get people to believe that I caught somebody using an IMSI grabber, a Stingray that they jammed under a couch, a device bigger than my goddamn guitar rig. I tried to get people to believe that I got an FBI challenge coin. Thor, I got a challenge coin too. I got one from the Umbrella Corporation, which doesn't even exist. You can just print challenge coins. Such a fucking bunch of shit. That was the story. The story of him doing that was what solidified it for me, that he's just absolutely full of shit, willing to lie about anything and everything. Absolute bullshit, especially when he said that the FBI was the agency that handled it, when in reality it would be the FCC. To him, he thinks that the FCC is probably nothing more than just something that controls censorship for television shows, radio, online media. And no, it is part of what it does, sure. But if you're using something to manipulate, grab, and fuck with and tap phone communications, radio communications, television communications, and what have you, no, that's the FCC's jurisdiction. The FBI might get involved if it's bad enough, but that's the FCC's wheelhouse. And if you hadn't been pulling that story out of your ass, you'd know that. If you didn't pull the majority of your securities knowledge out of your ass, you'd be able to lie better or exaggerate better. Well, I used to hack computers for the government. No, what you used to do is run malware in controlled environments or do penetration testing that amounted to sending spam messages in emails to various companies' employees or government service employees to see whether or not they'd respond to the emails, which I'm sure that 99% of the cases was just a bunch of boomers who didn't know any better. Stupid. Stupid. This stuff is like so basic. To people that have either facilitated this stuff, done work like that, you know, for companies before, it's so basic. But to the average person, and this is where his exaggeration really gets under my skin, to the average person, it's like the same kind of wowing that you'll give your parents when you like program their Roku. You're like, oh, wow, you should work with computers. Look at how fast you can click through those menus. It's amazing. It's crazy. Yeah. Did my camera just die? No, I'm still recording video. Okay, whatever. It's just, it's the same idea. It's stupid. You know, it's not all that advanced, but to people that don't know it's that advanced, it sounds advanced. And I guess that's kind of the in he has to exaggerate the extent of his ability. Well, I have a private GitHub. So do most people that use GitHub. Okay? What's so... Is it really this nuclear malware bunker? Or just your GitHub with all the shit code for your shit game? And you need to exaggerate it to people who don't know any better. Because most people that are watching your videos probably aren't very code savvy. As you are currently being eviscerated by people who are. Insane behavior.
The employees could lose their benefits or even their jobs. I mean, that's a big thing.
God, jeez, like that's a job worth losing, working for this guy. Really? Oh man, you got to keep that. Jesus. I mean, if you get fired having worked for pirate software, you're fucked. You're blackballed from the tech industry forever. Like, it'll be a mark on your permanent record that you got shit canned as a Janny for Pirate Software's Discord. Are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck off your lazy ass and get a real job. Holy fuck. Stop shooting your future in the foot because you don't want to put in any work. Work is work for a reason. It sucks. It's arduous. It's ardently annoying. Okay? But the payoff is you become self-sufficient. And with self-sufficiency comes personal responsibility. And that sense of accomplishment is something a fucking retard like this is not going to be able to give you.
It's a big deal, but it's not the fault of the people that are criticizing you as a content creator. It's you as the person who made those claims that needs to come to terms with the fact that even someone like yourself, who allegedly beat Animal Well's secret ending without looking up a guide, which took literally, by the way, in case you don't know, that secret ending was found.
That was bullshit. He looked at his phone. But yeah, even more so about his statement, just before we move on to this little tidbit here. What was fucking crazy to me about that, absolutely just fucking wild to me about that appeal to emotion when he's blaming his community and blaming the critics. Basically, I might have to close that kind of appeal to emotion. What's fucking crazy is it's not just him putting that on the audience, just putting that on the critics, just putting that on the trolls. He's putting it on his own employees as well. Like, you're not doing a good enough job sweeping for me. Fuck you. Fuck you, you arrogant motherfucker. You arrogant motherfucker. Who the fuck are you? You know, you're somebody who's sitting there making, oh, I can take care of this myself, and then you're mad that these people aren't doing it for you while claiming you can take care of it yourself. Jesus Christ.
Found out by like 1 million plus users that were working for weeks all together to figure out that ending. And guess what? You can be wrong too, Pirate. And by the way, I still believe that Pirate just looked up the solution to Animal Well's secret ending.
Of course he did. You could see him do it
Before he played the game. It's just his hubris, you know, it's so annoying.
when he did that. You could see that he looked at it. He probably has a multi-monitor setup. I've got one monitor here, okay, that I'm watching this video on. I've got another monitor over here. You can see me glancing at. That's my OBS screen. And you could see when he was playing the game, you know, he probably had maybe even a laptop in front of him, but he looked at another screen, figured it out that way. He just wanted the world to think, oh, he's just got a big throbbing mega mind brain. Whoa, you know. Figured it out in seconds because he's got 186,000 IQ. Fucking moron.
Thinking that you were some God-sent champion. We're just another guy wearing glasses in a chair with a microphone. We're not special, man. That's why it's called YouTube. Anyone can do what we're doing. And you need to realize that your platform and support, yeah, that could be...
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to do what I'm doing right now. Like, I have a 217 IQ. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to do this.
pulled at any...
I'm a member of Mensa. You know that when he hits like his real midlife crisis, he's definitely going to be one of those kind of guys that just goes and like platitudes that blow. He probably will try to get certified as one and bloviate about it. You know it.
time, especially if you're attacking the very people who look up to you. Just never take this for
He doesn't give a fuck about him though.
granted. Always be grateful.
They're the platform he's raising himself up with, not his own achievements.
I still can't believe that I even do YouTube for a living. It's a dream of mine. But what Pirate is doing here, this is a man who isn't grateful for this opportunity. He instead feels like he was born to control it and be with it, and everyone around him has to, like, submit to him, and that's where he's wrong.
Bingo.
Because Pirate would respond to this, of course. Here's what he said about people saying things about him that he doesn't agree with.
That hurts my feelings.
You don't have to reason with the BS takes, but you do have to defend yourself from stuff like this. Otherwise, the people in the middle that don't know anything will just instantly side with the only voice in the room.
But that's what you want to be, you stupid motherfucker. You want other people to shut up and not point out your own behavior is ridiculous. And yet at the same time, what have you done to defend yourself?
Ironic, isn't it? Otherwise, people in the middle will side with the only voice in the room. So you mean...
And yet the voice in the room is basing its opinion off your behavior that you're showing to everybody.
How you run your Discord then, right? And pretty much everything else you do? How you're usually the only voice that really matters to yourself, like we've been seeing this entire video right now? How you're silencing people and shaming them for trying to be another voice in the room or having the gall to speak out against you? That
Insane behavior. How dare they hurt my feelings?
That kind of silencing? Pirate dude. You're becoming your own worst enemy here. And you can't even...
Well, because people like him have no capability of being anything other than that.
see it yourself. He told
Like months ago when this guy started popping up in my feed with his stupid shorts, I knew there was something off. It felt very unorganic, and then he goes and admits that he basically figured out a way to manipulate the algorithm into forcing this into everybody's feeds. I'm like, okay, well, he's a grifter. And his just attitude came off as very forced, inorganic, and fake, and it's narcissistic, full of himself, stuck up, sucking his own dick all the time. So none of this is surprising, at least to me. The idea, though, that he wants to be any different, no.
on himself there. He wants to be the only voice in the room there, which is explicitly why he's banning anyone else who even attempts to be any sort of alternative voice to him.
I don't like that they're creating their echo chamber because it prevents me from creating my own. What are you, a conservative? Jesus.
Is in his own Discord. So Pirate doesn't want anything said about him in a negative light, and yeah, he just proved it. So for a guy who claims he's a master hacker extraordinaire amongst other things, this guy really does tend to get bait.
I think it's hilarious that he bloviates and blows himself so much about his achievements at DEF CON. Why would anybody want to associate with him at that convention is my curiosity. With how much this guy falls back on, I'm going to sue you, I'm going to get the cops involved, you know, I got the FBI called on this guy. He's such a system pig. You'd figure that a convention filled with people who went to jail for their nebulous activities using computers would find this guy to be a massive liability. You know, like, what side are you on, really?
Basic things wrong, doesn't he? Another user would say that these people against Pirate don't care that if he's right, which he isn't, by the way, clearly, but anyway, here's how Pirate would respond to that too. You know who does care? The tens of thousands on the sidelines. Yeah, and they're seeing that you have built an echo chamber where only you can be right and nobody else is allowed to. You're destroying...
Yeah, the tens of thousands of people who you don't want to have an ability to think for themselves.
Your own brand with every type of your keyboard or phone and then hitting that enter button. You're not allowing people to think for themselves, and you're enacting your rule over them like you're some kind of god king. You're just a guy in a chair with long hair.
Hey, all right, we didn't need to get personal.
Like, the level of self-importance here needs to be dialed down because it's clearly rotting your brain out.
Well, I mean, fairness, that happened for me decades ago. All right.
Then a user brings up a really good point against Pirate, which reads, those people are coming here or to the stream and seeing you show numbers of bans that you have without context. It looks like boasting.
Yeah, well, it's not that it's out of context and isn't boasting. It is boasting. Why else the fuck would you do that? He has a ban counter. I think either in his Discord or on his stream, but basically it is a counter of how many people he's banned, and I think it's like in the thousands at this point. I mean, imagine how self-filleting that you have to be. Like, how stupid you have to be to think that shit's a flex. Look at all these people that don't like me. I'm so cool because people don't like me. No, you're not cool. People don't like you because you're a dipshit.
Trolls are giving that context already, and gamifying it with ban announcements and counters is just encouragement. You're gonna fight this fight for the rest of your career this way. Yeah.
And he's aware of that, but he's too stupid to realize it's not working in his favor.
So, okay, some context for you, in case you don't know. Pirate Software, when he streams, he has a ban counter on screen while he's live, and this ban counter obviously...
I've never heard of anybody doing that before.
...goes up the more he bans people while watching his streams. So what this user said to criticize him is actually a really good point, which is that by having a ban counter on your live stream every time you do it, you're actually incentivizing that very same negative behavior within your viewer base to act out of line on purpose in order to increase that ban number, which people will look forward to, but in actuality, for it to happen, obviously a whole account is removed every single time. So yes, this user is right that Pirate is 100% encouraging his own viewer base to act out of line so that he can ban them for...
And then idiotically act like it's a flex. Again, who else did that? It smells kind of oniony in here. And that moron thought that shit was a flex too.
Entertainment reasons. So he is quite literally rewarding the bad behavior that he's against, which he has said prior in this video is something he hates. Because it is, in his opinion, poisoning the well when he's the one encouraging the very poisoning of the well that he's apparently against.
I think at the end of the day, he's just whining that this isn't working out in his favor. He does want people to do this because he wants to come out on top of it. It's like, see, look at all these people that thought I was a moron. It turns out they're wrong and I'm right. But it's like, no, they're right and you're wrong. Like he's going to win Olympian gold for mental gymnastics going down this path. But again, you know, I've made this point a million times already. People like this are incapable of doing anything else. Normal people don't behave like this because normal people know better.
Therefore, he's not only rewarding bad behavior, but he has, even though he claims he hasn't, but he is creating an echo chamber of thousands of people
Because he wants one.
who will just thrive off this sort of negativity. And yes, it's a terrible precedent. And now to turn it around and say wrongthink is banned in Discord?
Well, I mean, it's a terrible precedent, yes, obviously, but it's a terrible precedent, obviously, to people who know that it is, to some egotistical, arrogant jackass who wants to contort reality for his own purposes. It's going to come off as a useful strategy when it's not.
Come on. It just shows that this guy can't follow his own claims even when he tries. Yes, it's hypocritical. It's like having a coliseum where you throw humans in every night to watch lions eat them for entertainment. But as soon as someone says, why don't you get in the coliseum yourself, or you're bad for doing this in the first place, they just get removed from the premises. And it's crazy that he hasn't realized this
Or they get thrown in the lion pit.
at all, you know? But anyway, Pirate would respond to this user's plights that he's weaponizing the toxicity of his own user base to fuel his pockets while complaining. And how did Pirate respond? Well, he said, I have fought this for 6 months without the timer. Your route does nothing.
And what has it done for you?
As you can see, despite the criticism and the actual level-headed arguments and advice to better himself and his community, Pirate Software has instead refused to see reason no matter what anyone says to him. So if you ask me, it's impossible to reason with people like this. They will never see your side because even though they know you're right, they are so
He's roaching out in his own Discord now.
hell-bent on proving that they're right, that they would rather gaslight everyone around them into believing the same lies that they do, if it means people will then see them as the truth. It's completely backwards. It's completely backwards. It's why there's so much discourse online 24/7. The fact that all of this has happened, the crumbling of his so-called empire, and the loss of revenue and subscribers is because of Pirate, not the people criticizing
All because he wouldn't apologize for acting like a moron in World of Warcraft, really.
him despite what he says. He can try and say that it's because of others that he's losing his platform, but not really. This all falls on him and him alone. And the fact that he's now resorting to censoring his own viewer base for speaking out, yeah, it proves this. This is a man who refuses to admit that he's wrong despite the evidence overwhelmingly proving that he is in fact wrong. These sort of people are the most insufferable to deal with, yet the only way you can truly make someone like this see reason is to just walk away from them.
And yet they're the most commonly skyrocketed to popularity people this platform produces. I always thought that was interesting.
Just leave them be, move on, and when enough do and they realize that their empire is full of vacant homes, they will suddenly wish that they did listen when the audience was still willing to have that conversation with them. Because otherwise, what we're left with is just two brick walls communicating pretty much.
What you're left with is a person who can only helm authority over an empire of dirt. Because it's easier. The dirt doesn't talk back.
And Pirate does need to remember that he needs the viewers and their support way more than they need him. Because they owe you nothing, dude. Everything that you are is because of them. It's not the other way around. Your ability to pay your moderators and to have streams is because people like watching you. And the sooner you realize this, the better it will be for you. But it's very clear that you refuse to admit to any of this, and it's why this is happening to you in the first place. So I don't want to hear crying or anything when more people leave and stop supporting you. There's a window of opportunity here for you.
Yeah, especially if you're a dipshit like Kronos who's threw down $300 so that you could have fake hype trains on your Twitch. That's insane. Oh my god, the guy who fucking exaggerated being a lawyer, who's not even barred to practice in the United States because he's from the UK, who swept for you like that, is giving you 300. Oh my god. What? That guy should be used as like an adjective to like describe a particular level of pathetic behavior, really.
You to save face, and right now You're doing everything to make this worse for yourself of your own volition and opinions.
Whatever game he's playing right here, by the way, looks bad fucking ass.
And you know it's having an effect because one user would ask if this slander has had an effect on Pirate financially, as seen here, and Pirate would simply respond to this question with, yes.
Well, then what's the benefit of doing any of this, you stupid fuck? Jesus Christ.
But it does go further, because one user got quite a bit of attention for wondering why Pirate's game is taking so long to develop.
Because he's a shit programmer.
I won't read their whole post because it's quite long, but it's on screen here. But
on top of that, like, this is a guy who spent 20 years doing this stuff, 7 years at Blizzard, and yet all he's got to show for it is a game that looks like it's like a Game Boy, like, little Super NES, like, pixel shit game. Like, for real. You spent all this time, and that's how far you've gotten? Okay. You know John Romero.
To paraphrase it, they're
You're no John Carmack.
confused as to how Pirate's game has taken so long despite people having bought it already and paid for it years ago. Pirate would respond again in a lengthy read, but to also paraphrase what he's saying, Pirate defends why Heartbound took so long to get made and claims that the game has plenty of content in it already, from hidden secrets and all that other stuff as you can read on screen yourselves.
This is so much an excuse. I'm not going to read it. It's just bullshit. But basically, it's an excuse. The story is complicated. There's so many different options you can take. It's because you're shit at programming. You're shit at game making. You've had your code ripped apart by developers far more competent than you that actually work in the industry you wish you still worked in. To some extent, I believe he was possibly intentionally ostracized from it. I mean, he gives me the vibe of somebody that most professionals wouldn't touch with a 200-foot pole because he exudes that sort of toxicity. But yeah, his code has been ripped to pieces countless times. You can find tons of videos of people doing that. I'm not even going to waste my time with that. These are just a bunch of excuses at this point. And to deliver a product that looks like it was supposed to be for, like, Sega Genesis. You know, your video game looks so old. I mean, I like that aesthetic. I mean, at the same time that I whine, I do think it's an interesting aesthetic for a video game. But for somebody who's put on the persona of somebody who's like a John Carmack, like, coding genius, come on, you got to show more than that. All right? That guy revolutionized 3D gaming by basically just pulling these ideas out of his ass. Also because he was smart enough to know how to do it. Oh, and took criticism and learned. One other thing I want to point out about this Thor guy is that he is admitted in his own words that he has no formal education in any of this. He never went to college. I think he dropped out of high school or something like that. You know, I mean, I'm a high school dropout. I'm not gonna, no. Something wrong with getting post-secondary education as an adult, but, like, you have to have, if you're going to say that you're a genius, something to back that up with, you know. I'm a moron. My life is a pretty good bunch of evidence to back that up.
But the user, who has become obviously disillusioned, brings up a good point next, where they would say this: by the time the game is done, my son will be in college, and I might be misunderstanding, but are you saying it's not even halfway done? But at this point, I feel like my money has been wasted.
That's because it has.
Between buying the game, buying hardbound merch, subscribing to his Twitch and YouTube, it just doesn't feel like I'm supporting it.
I've always gotten the feeling like his game was simply a vehicle to boost his image of being a game dev, and it wasn't really for anything other than that. Like, he created enough of a product just to sell that image, and that was it. Like, it was never really intended to be finished, but now that too many people are bitching about it, he's, like, struggling to finish it.
Indie dev with a dream as much as a Twitch streamer with...
But I don't know. Maybe I need to pull up MS Paint and draw some boxes on the screen about it.
a side project. Its priorities have changed drastically. We haven't had an update on Heartbound since May 28th. Because the game jam coming up, perhaps he should take a year off and focus on something else instead of telling everybody for months that Animus is done and there was video proof of him saying, again, I like...
Jason, Thor.
And I truly want to believe his
God,
motives are good, but man, it's hard. Fathom that for a second.
that was his dad, by the way.
Okay, this guy's son is almost in college due to how long Pirate has been working on his game, and it's still not done. How does Pirate respond to a guy who's been supporting him for years? Here's what he said.
Go fuck yourself.
Doomer detected. Honestly, if all you're going to do is doom post, just wait for me to be done and stop busying yourself with it. I'm literally writing it now. Ah, yes.
Oh, Jesus. Shut up.
Be condescending to the guy who supports your YouTube, Twitch, buys your merch, and your video game. Very cool of you, Pirate. Very cool. The original message...
Yeah, I love that for me. Just giving somebody money and then calling me basically a fucking mark.
By the guy with the son in college would be deleted, I guess, by him after Pirate would respond to him. But here's how Pirate would then double down further again.
Basically, go fuck yourself. It's done when it's done. I see taking the Duke Nukem Forever route.
And to a guy who supported
Mr. fucking Pitchford.
him for at least a decade. Here's what he would say.
And yet the funnier thing too is, for as big of a fucking lolcow as Randy Pitchford is, he's still not this big of a cunt.
Good faith criticism is not claiming that your son will be in college by the time the game comes out. It's just stating...
But what if it's true and they are?
Things as raw and aggressive as possible while being an ass about it, F's sake.
Oh, fuck you goddamn crybaby. Oh, being as raw and aggressive about it hurt my fifis. Grow a pair of testicles, for fuck's sake. Goddamn, can you be a man about anything? Take a joke. Jesus, what a fucking soft little bitch this guy is. It's fucking painful.
Imagine supporting and watching someone for
Imagine being a Janny for this guy and sweeping this behavior is more offensive to me.
well over a decade, and they tell you that you're an idiot and that your claims are pointless and you need to sit down and shut up for simply asking
Enjoy the slop until more slop is ready.
why it's taken almost a decade to deliver on a product that you bought way back when.
And looks like something that was made in 1993.
Congratulations, Pirate Software. You likely made that guy just burn his merch and walk away from supporting you forever.
I would have taken a shit all over it and then mailed it back to him.
Not that you care, of
I mean, I wouldn't actually do that. But if anybody does, that would be hilarious.
course, because you will just feel as though you're entitled to that money that he gave you either way, and it's
So then it's just his promises of ever delivering on anything that he's working on are just glib. And it just further backs up my personal theory that these games that he's developing are there's just a vehicle for his image as a game designer and whatnot. It's just like he's developing something and be out whenever it's out, but more or less it's just eye candy to be put on his green screen behind him, so he has like the code, base for it and whatnot. It's bullshit. He's a grifter. It's funny that he calls people to do videos like this YouTube grifters, and yet he himself fucking is one. I guess it takes one to know one, but
really disgusting to see, man. Finally, Pirate would say one more thing to that guy he's shamed for supporting him and asking where the product is. He would say this. You can just be like, hey man, when is this coming out? Not writing a novel about all the imaginary stuff that is going to happen before it does.
And you can stop being such a whiny little bitch about people making a chide, chiding you for this.
Again, people, this is Pirate
What a fucking crybaby.
Software. I'm not making these
This is
things
crybaby bitch software.
up, okay? They're on his Discord. It's there. He truly believes that he is entitled to your money and support.
Achievement unlocked. Be a total piss baby.
And if you question it, you're the bad guy. That's who this guy is. He almost doesn't need YouTubers talking about him because he's proving how awful of a human.
No, but I love the sheer tsunami of slop content that has been generated because of his behavior. So he doesn't need YouTubers talking about it. I don't even need to be doing this. But I'd be lying if I said I ain't fucking entertained. I mean, on my lunch breaks at work, man, this stuff is just, I'm loving this.
Being he is simply of his own free will at this point. This man has lost his composure.
This man, baby, has lost his composure.
He's lashing out at everyone by proving that he truly is the internet supervillain. Like, man.
He's not a supervillain. He's just a whiny little bitch with a gigantic ego and is no ability to keep it in check.
You're supporting someone for 10 years and they tell you to shut up and sit down like that. Like, Jesus, dude. What?
You say that to Kronos. You'll have to tell him to take Pirate's dick out of his mouth, though, so he can hear you.
This is Pirate Software, ladies and gentlemen. The man
Take one of his ferrets out of his ass, too.
who also, by the way, thinks that you all deserve to own nothing despite paying the, premium price points for video games these days, which of course
Oh, yeah.
started all of this backlash in the first place.
Yeah, mister, I'm working on one of these live service games, so I have to have a take that counters the Stop Killing Games movement because it'll cut in on my bottom line because I'm a money-grubbing fucking slut. What a piece of shit.
How anyone can support this guy with all of this out in the open now, I have no idea. But again, thanks to Quintheo for the screen grabs on all of this. Yeah, I know, I'm kind of just repeating his info in my video here, but I had a lot to say, so that's why I made a video about it too. But if you ask me, this is not okay, man. If you were on the fence about supporting Pirate Software still, maybe this video has convinced you to, maybe not do that. And this guy...
Don't give people like this your fucking money. Don't. Let them struggle. Oh, I won't be able to run my business. Oh, I won't be able to run my ferret rescue. I won't be able to take your money and fucking light it on fire. Go fuck yourself. Get a job. Live honestly, live earnestly. I know that you've probably been babied your whole life and had everything given to you so you didn't have to work for it because nobody believed in discipline in your life. But hey, you know what? You fuckers are reaping the fruits of your labor now, aren't you? This is what it's like to raise a stuck-up, conceited, condescending, narcissistic little fuckwad. Deal with it. You wrought that shit upon the earth. And now you've made it everybody else's problem.
Really needs a miracle at this point to clean his image up. But I'm sure, even if someone tries to help him, he would just ban them anyways, or call them an idiot, or be condescending, because I guess it's just who this guy is in the end.
And then he'd go back to using his ferrets as a cum sock. This guy's gross.